In the last video on my cabinet, I finished all 7 of the drawers. So the next thing and last thing to do is build the upper cabinet. Now to do this I need to take the top off, and the top is the only thing that's holding the pole to the frame. So I'm wrapping all of the drawers carefully in twine. I took the time to wrap all the drawers just to really make sure everything was firmly held in place. You know, just take my time. Actually, just tying the top drawer, that'll be fine. And that actually was plenty to hold things in place once the top was off. So I start out by building the cabinet door and first attach the wingate boards to the pivot post. And then I clean up the drawer fronts with some hand tools and sandpaper. I really liked working with the twin turbo vise, but I'm not going to brag it up too much because that's just irritating with it not for sale yet, I would imagine. Now I attach the fronts to the pivot post and then the handle post to the fronts, making sure that all the gaps stay consistent. And this really repeats 4 times to build the door, but I needed something to join those 4 sections together so they move as one door. And to do that, I made some discs that fit into the tops and bottoms of the handle posts to join consecutive sections of the handle post together. I had to add some material to the plywood to get the spacing exactly right. So I glue those discs in as I go to join up the sections, and when I'm finished with all 4, I have a complete door. So I can put the top back on and give it a try. Now to build the sides. Now unfortunately the sides themselves and the cabinet, everything is just a little out of square at this point. So the sides were kind of tedious. I would put them in place, see where I had gaps, slowly remove some material to alter the fit, check again, and slowly sneak up on a reasonably good fit with the door. And this was time consuming, but ultimately it worked. It kind of reminded me of kind of DIY home construction where nothing's square. Not ideally what you're looking for, but at this point I'm not going back and squaring it all up. Nobody will ever know. So with all those fine-tuning adjustments made, I can fix the sides to the frame with screws. Now the cabinet has 2 shelves. I drill some holes for dowels that will attach the shelves to the bottoms of the sides that will hold them. And I use those dowel locating pin plug things to transfer the marks to the right spots on the sides. So with that all finished, I can put everything in place with some glue and also fix a small cherry board to the front of the shelf to hide the plywood side. This process doesn't change much for the remaining sections, but I did want to join all the sides together. So I drill another hole for a dowel and get the sides all perfectly lined up, mark that dowel hole, and then drill into the lower side section so that I can put a dowel in between the two and make sure that they never drift out of alignment. And I'm painting the center black just so that it blends in and is as hard to see as possible once it's all assembled. Now similarly in the top section, I want to join that to the top in a way that's removable because it comes apart and the top can come off. So I'm going to lay out that mark, and instead of a dowel, I'm going to tap a hole in the cabinet side and have a bolt that fixes it to the top. So I can take the top off again and drill those holes for the bolts that'll attach the top to the sides. Now I can permanently attach the top sides to the frame from the outside this time because I can't get at them from the inside, and then trace around the top so that I can cut the same sort of profile that I did on the bottom into the top of the frame. And these plugs are going to cover up the screw holes that I had to put in the top sections because I couldn't screw them to the frame from the inside. Now I lay out the outer profile of the upper section of the frame and route a rabbet and size a piece of plywood to fill the hole in the top. Now I can cut the outer profile and put in the relief curve on the front bottom side of this piece, similar to what I did at the bottom of the frame. Some sanding and it's ready to go back together again. I sized and screw in pieces of plywood to cover the back of the frame. On both the top and the bottom. And then I apply some finish. If you're curious, I got that shot with a sort of modification. I put an arm on my panoramic time-lapse capture tripod stand thing. And that is in my Amazon store that you can find in the description of this video for the small fraction of you that are interested in making videos. So there it is. Now, Even though it's finished, I need to take it all apart, get it upstairs, put it back together, get it in place. And I plan to make one more video that's going to be just kind of a highlight reel of the build from start to finish, and that will include non-blurry finished pictures. So you have to wait just a little bit longer to see the cabinet in all its glory. But thanks for sticking around. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time.